Hello. So, I just wanted to share a little bit about my relationship to cannabis, and maybe some of you can relate. I've got some insights that I'd like to unpack a little. First, I'll give you a little bit of history. I've been smoking cannabis on and off since junior high, so that's more than half my life now. And I've gone through periods where I just wasn't smoking very consistently, but in the last few years, I have been smoking almost daily. I've had this weird relationship with it where I will tell myself that I'm not going to smoke and then I'll smoke. This has been going on for the last few months, like just not being able to honor the commitment to myself. So, and that's been creating a dissonance, an internal dissonance within me. It's been really damaging to my relationship with myself. It's been shattering my sense of self-trust, and the impact that has had on my life has had a ripple effect through everything that I'm trying to create and build within myself in my life. Because when we don't have a sense of self-trust, then what do we have? How can we trust other people? How can we trust ourselves to navigate our journey in a way that nourishes us and supports us and facilitates expansion and evolution? The act of smoking has been a bit unconscious, I think. I'll ride the edge of consciousness, like I'll feel myself being like, I don't want to smoke. I don't feel really committed to it. And then some kind of hunger arises in my experience, a desire for something more. Like I need something more from the moment. I'll end up smoking, and if I'm with people, what will often happen is I will go into these weird headspace tangents where anxiety is like creating story, and I don't feel like I'm reading people well, and I don't feel like they're reading me well. And weirdly, we're all kind of doing something like that. We're all doing our version of that. And so what happens is this weird disconnect. And what's strange is when I smoke, and when I'm with people when I'm smoking, I actually want a feeling of connection with others. It's this sort of like passing around of like this torch, where we're all just wanting to come together in unity with each other. And yet what happens is, yes, we're all smoking the same plant. You would think that we would all be on the same vibration, but we all have different relationships to the plant. And we all have different things that we're processing with the plant. And this plant is a teacher. This plant has invited us to get high, to raise our vibration. And maybe in junior high or in high school or whatever time you started, it was a necessary step on your personal evolution. Maybe it still is. But for me, I found that I got to a certain point where, yes, it raised my vibration. Then I met a point where I'm plateaued, and I keep seeking this raising up of my vibration, and yet it doesn't do it for me anymore. I think what happened was the cannabis did raise my vibration. It did elevate my consciousness and expand my horizons in that sense. But like training wheels on a bicycle, there comes a time where we just don't need it anymore. Like these plants are our teachers, they're our allies, and they have lessons for us that we need to learn. And we learn them at the rate in which we need to learn them. And then there comes a time where we need to exit the classroom. I think I needed it for the time that I needed it, and I'm at a place now where it just doesn't feel in harmony or resonance for me anymore. And the act of choosing to smoke in order to feel connected is no longer honoring where it is that I'm at on my path. I actually feel, and I was just talking with a friend about this, that there comes a time in the classroom of cannabis where we have gotten all the lessons that we need to get, and the final lesson, the final test, is acknowledging that I no longer need to be in this classroom, that there are other teachers that I want to discover in the world. There are other avenues that I want to explore and lessons that I want to take on. And the final lesson is coming to a place of acknowledging that I don't need to be in this classroom anymore, that I have elevated myself to the place that I need to, and I can honor this teacher by saying thank you for the lessons, thank you for everything that you offered me. And I've got so much out of this experience that I don't need to be here anymore, you know? Because I don't think we need to have a codependent relationship with the plant. I don't think that's what I signed up for as a soul when I chose to step into this classroom. I think the final choice and the final test is leaving the classroom, and that's the place I'm at now. And I've been here before, you know. I've been in the doorway. I've left, you know. I went into the hallway, had a sip from the water fountain, and then came back in. I've certainly done that before. But I'm in a new place now in my life. I'm in a place where I'm acknowledging that when I'm sober, I'm clear. I like myself here. I think this is the best version of me. And when I'm high, I'm hazy, and I'm not able to produce what I came here to produce, you know? Like I haven't been able to put out a lot of videos because of how cloudy I've been. The clarity of my consciousness has not been so that it enables me to do this. So coming to accept that has been part of my exit scene in leaving this classroom. And what's interesting is I'm finding that I'm encountering a lot of excuses to stay in the classroom as I'm trying to leave, and I think that's just part of the lesson, the final lesson, you know? There's always a reason to stay. I think these are actually invitations to check. Do you still need to be here? Do you still need to be in this classroom? And when I take it, I say yes, and then I go back in. And there's nothing wrong with that, because what it's revealing is just the pattern, you know? This is the tipping point of consciousness. When I go back into the pattern, I lose consciousness. I look at all the ways I reflect on, in hindsight, I reflect on what brought me to a point of accepting it and bringing it into my body and allowing it to adjust my consciousness, you know? I can reflect on this from a place of sobriety, and there's some real gold here in this place that I'm in now. And I feel like the more I'm here, the more I love myself. The more I'm coming to accept myself for where it is that I am on my own journey. I'm feeling really grateful to be here. It's only been 4 or 5 days now, but it feels really good. And how good I feel now that I have my dreams back, now that I'm, because weed has literally taken my dreams away from me. That's pretty significant. That's a pretty significant and juicy relationship that I had with myself in the past that I haven't really been able to sustain while in this habit of smoking weed as consistently as I have been. So I have my dreams back. Now that I have my dreams back, I'm realizing, wow, this is really juicy. This is juicier than any trip that I've taken myself on with cannabis. When someone comes up to me and offers me a joint and says, you know, hey, you want a little puff? You know, want to get high? It's actually someone saying, you want to get low? It's just not quite the same. And I don't need it. I'm good. And I can be with you here. I can be with you. I don't need to separate myself from my friends who are on, you know, these levels of their journey. I have no judgment. We're all where we need to be, right? I'm okay with looking at those reflections. I'm okay with being in those scenarios and having these invitations to come back into the classroom, because it's all teaching me something about myself and where it is that I'm at on my journey. So thank you. Thank you for listening, and taking the time to hear me and see me and maybe feel me a little bit. I am sending you much love and clarity as you navigate the path that you're on, and much love to you.